Hello everyone, welcome to Serendipity in Quarantine. Today we are going to see third chapter of 9th standard Democratic Politics NCERT called Electoral Politics. So in this chapter we'll be saying what are actually elections, why elections are important for democracy and how they are conducted. So let's go ahead. So in our country, elections are been conducted periodically. So this mechanism allows people to choose their representative at regular interval and change them if they wish to do so. So this mechanism is known as elections. So in elections, voters makes many choices. For example, by electing people, they choose who will make laws for them, who will form government and take major decisions, who will and they choose the party whose policies will guide the government and the lawmaking. So what makes elections democratic? In all democratic countries, elections are held. But in previous chapter we saw that in some countries the practices of election does not represent democracy. For example, in China, only parties selected by the Communist Party are allowed to get elected. So this does not show total free and fair elections. So there are some conditions which are required to have a democratic election. The first one is everyone should be able to choose. That means adult franchise. Universal adult franchise means everyone should have one vote and every vote should have one equal value. Then second is there should be something to choose from. Means parties and candidates should be free to contest elections and should offer some real choice to the voters. Then the third is election must be held regularly after every few years. And fourth is candidates preferred by people should get elected and with the help of free and fair election. So this shows that in our country these are the conditions should be met to have a democratic election. But there are some arguments which show that these type of election create political competition. So we'll be seeing, is this political competition good for democracy? Sometimes it has some of the demerits. For example, this competition creates sense of discontinuity and factionalism. There is hatred among two parties which create party politics. There are also some dirty tricks which parties or candidates use to win elections, like bribing for votes or using violence or using power of criminals. There are also fights between electoral fights which does not allow sensible and long term policies to be formulated. As parties are changing, this long term solution cannot be found. So these were some demerits, but overall this system works better in long run, as in the end why these political parties compete among themselves to serve people. So it motivates them and their desire to advance in their political career by serving people. In the end, help and it is for the benefit for the people. Because if they work hard for the benefit of people, they are rewarded for by getting in power. So these parties have incentives of being in power by working for people, and no one is consistently winner or consistently loser. So these also provide hope for these political parties. Hence they compete among each other. And in the end, the power to elect someone is in the hand of people. Hence here people are shown having greater power than those of the political parties. See this picture. So now we'll see how the elections are conducted in our country. So in our country, there can be multiple types of elections. For example, in case of Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, that is State Legislative Assembly, the elections are held every 5 years. So after completion of the term of 5 years, the consisting governing party that and all members of Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha get dissolved. So new elections have to be held. So these elections are known as general election, in which all constituency conduct election at the same time or either on same day or within few days. So, and the second one, sometimes elections are held only for one constituency to fill vacancy caused by death or resignation of a member. So these elections are known as by-elections. So what are electoral constituency? They are area-based systems, and in our country we use this area-based system of representation. So this electoral constituency are area specified by the government, and the voters who live in this area elect one representative. So from each constituency we elect one representative. For Lok Sabha elections, country is divided into 543 constituency, and from each constituency a representative is elected who is known as member of parliament or an MP. And for these election, every vote should have equal value, hence roughly equal population is clubbed into one constituency. Similarly, each state is divided into specific number of assembly constituency for the election of state legislative assembly, and the representative elected from it is known as member of legislative assembly, that is MLA. And if we compare both parliamentary constituency and the state constituency, assembly constituency, then parliamentary constituency is larger and it contains several of assembly constituency. Similarly, for panchayat or municipal election, there are villages or towns divided into wards, and each ward select one member. So these can also be called as seats. So each constituency represent one seat. So when the results are declared, sometimes it is being highlighted that this party won this many seats. So these many seats means these many representatives from constituencies. There is also one more important factor, that is reserve constituency. In our country, there are some weaker sections which do not stand equal chance to get elected in both Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly, because in the history they did not have equal resources or education or contacts which are required to contest or win elections. For example, weaker sections like scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So for that, there are some reserved constituency, like constituency reserved for scheduled caste or scheduled tribe. So in which only the someone who belong to that weaker section can stand for election. So these show that we provide equal opportunity to be get elected and act as a representative. So in Lok Sabha, there are 84 seats reserved for scheduled caste and 47 for scheduled tribes. But this is not the constant number, it is number proportionate to the share of their total population. So it is updated in few years and the number changes according to the change in population. Similarly, in case of rural, that is in panchayat or urban local bodies, that is in municipalities and municipal corporation, there are reservation given to other backward classes. But it is not for all states. State has right to dictate who can provide reservations to them. But in all urban local bodies and rural local bodies, there is 1/3 of seats reserved for women, because women were not equally represented at the lower section of the democracy. But the one more fact, that only 14% member of the parliament are women. This also shows that we required reservation for women at parliament level as well, but it is still debated. Then what are voter lists? That means who can vote. So there is a list of all those who are eligible to vote, and it is prepared very much before the election. So this is made by Election Commission, and it is officially called as electoral roll. As we all have roll call of our attendance, so similarly this is electoral roll, and it is commonly known as voters list. So who are eligible to vote in our country? So as we know, we have universal adult franchise. That means no one can be discriminated based on caste, religion or gender. Everyone has right to vote, and everyone's vote is have equal value. But there is one criteria, that all citizens aged above 18 years, 18 and above, can vote. So this is the one criteria. Sometimes some criminals or people with unsound mind can also be restricted, but there are very rare cases of that. This is the map of our country, in which we can see these are multiple constituency made for the election of Lok Sabha, and those in green are reserved for scheduled tribes, and those in red are reserved for scheduled caste. Okay, then yes, every 5 years there is complete revision of this electoral list, so that new youngsters who are just become 18-year-old are added to that, and those who have died or been moved out of the place are deleted. From last few years there is election photo identity card. You can also call it as voter ID card, which voters are required to carry this card when they go for vote, so that no one else can vote for them. So this secures their vote, but it is not compulsory, as person can take any other identity proof with them. So then next point is nomination of candidates. Who are these candidates and how they get elected and how they are allowed to get elected? So anyone who can be a voter can also become a candidate in election, but one criteria is that the minimum age should be above 25 years of old. This is for Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly, but in case of panchayats, person can also be about 21-year-old and above. There are some restrictions on criminals. If a person is convicted for heinous crime, then he is not allowed to stand for the elections. There are political parties who nominate their candidates and who get party symbols and party support. This party's nomination is also known as ticket. So as we hear, this candidate got ticket, so it means he got nominated for the election. So every person who wishes to contest election has to fill this nomination form, and he or she has to give some money as a security deposit. If one fails to make this security deposit, then his qualification get cancelled. There are also some new direction given by Supreme Court, that every candidate has to make legal declaration and give full details of whether he had some criminal cases pending against the candidate, also his or her details of the asset and liabilities of the candidates and his or her family, then educational qualification of the candidate. So this information is made public so that voters can make their decision on the basis of this information, so that no one can hide their actual information. But in our country there is no educational qualification for that candidate. So why do you think that we don't have this educational qualification? Because not for every field education is relevant. For example, if you are going for cricket team selection, no one will ask you what is your educational qualification, rather they will see how good you play cricket. Similarly, for an MP or MLA, the ability to understand people's concern, problems, or to represent their interests is important rather than being educationally qualified. And even if we apply this criteria, then we will be depriving majority of country's citizen to right to contest election, as still today we have majority of population who does not possess any bachelorate degree or any kind of masters. So hence this criteria is not relevant. So this is the picture of actual electoral roll from 2018 Mizoram state. So this is how it is declared. Here you will see your name, your father's name, your house area, your age and your picture, and from these numbers you will locate where the polling booth is situated for you. So before election there is election campaign. So what are these election campaign? This take place before 2-week period between announcement of the final list of candidates and the date of polling. So during this period, candidates contact their voters, political leaders and address election meetings. They conduct various debates which allows the voters to study these candidates and to decide whom they are going to vote in the end. In this period also, newspaper and television news are full of election related stories. So in this period, political parties try to focus public attention on some big issues. For example, in in recent Lok Sabha election, the focus was on Uri attack or Kashmir issues, or in recently Maharashtra election, state assembly election, the focus of the major parties were on farmers issues. So these are some public sensational issues which attract voters. This is the example from 1971 with Indira Gandhi party. She made the slogan of Garibi Hatao, that means remove poverty. So she tried to catch focus on this party issue. So in such a way they attract public attention. So in our election there are some laws. For example, no party or candidate can bribe or threaten voters. They can appeal to them but not on the basis of caste or religion. They cannot use government resources for the election purpose, and they cannot spend more than 25 lakh on constituency for Lok Sabha election or 10 lakh in constituency in an assembly elections. And if someone does that, then they can be disqualified by the election commission. So there are also some suggested rules which are known as model code of conduct, which tries to make a framework under which parties should perform. So no party or candidate can use any place of worship for election propaganda. They cannot use government vehicles or aircrafts or officials for election, as this ensures that ruling party does not get advantage of being at the government. Also, after the elections are announced, the minister cannot lay foundation stone to any project or take any big decision, so that people does not think that this ruling government is doing for the benefit of them, and behind that there is political motive. So after that, after the campaigning period stops, there are polling of votes and then counting of votes. So voter cast their vote or poll their votes on election day near polling booth. So at their polling booth, they will put a mark on their finger, or it allows her to cast a vote. And then after that, now we have EVM machines, that are electronic voting machines, in which we have to press button against the name of the candidate she wants to give her vote. But Previously we had ballot paper system. So ballot paper were a sheet of paper in which you have to put stamp in front of a person, candidate's name you want to vote for. But these EVMs are now more easier and more secure. So the candidate who secures the highest number of votes from constituency is declared elected. So who regulates these elections in our country? So there is a constitutional body called Election Commission of India who conducts these elections, and it is very independent and very powerful body. It has same kind of independence that of judiciary. So there is a chief election commissioner, and it is appointed by the President of India. But once appointed, the chief election commissioner is not answerable to president or any government. So this shows that how high power the post belongs. So this election commission takes decision on every aspect of control and conduct of the election. It starts from announcing the dates of election to the declaration of result. It implements code of conduct and punishes any candidate or party that violates it. Recently in Lok Sabha election, we saw that there were some candidates who were suspended for certain period because their conduct was violating model code of conduct. Also, election commission can appoint election duty to government officers who work under government, and at that point they are not under government but under the control of election commission. So how we can say that our election system is better than others? So we can calculate that on the basis of how many people participate in our election. These graphs show that the voter turnout in India and UK. So this is India, and it has been constantly increasing, while in UK this is not constant, and at certain point it even decreased. So the turnout figure of voters is increasing, shows that people have more and more faith in elections. In India, poor and illiterate, underprivileged people vote in larger proportion as compared to rich and privileged section, because they have more faith in elections and they think that these powers can help them in future. They think that through this election they can bring pressure on political parties to adopt policies and programs favorable to them. So hence that makes a difference. Also, one more thing, acceptance of election outcomes. If the election process is fair and free, then the outcome of the election is acceptable by everyone. But there are some challenges to this free and fair election. For example, there are some debates that big parties have more cash inflow and more power over small parties, hence they show unfair means by money power. But this is limited for we can say few constituency, but overall verdict of general elections still reflects popular preferences. So these create a level playing field among each other. Also, one more thing is, before election voter has more power and every candidate tries to worship the voter, but after election those candidates in power forget about the voter. But this can be regulated by means of opposition, as opposition will try to keep check on the ruling party, and if they are promising, they are completing the promises they made to the voters. There are also some parties who have criminal connection, and they able to push the electoral race and to secure ticket from major parties. But this is also in very few cases. There are some families who tend to dominate political parties. For example, in case of India, Congress party, the tickets were distributed in relatives, I'm not doing political, but in case of major political leaders, this was the common observation. Then very often elections offer little choices to ordinary citizens, for both major parties are quite similar to each other, and there are some smaller parties or independent candidates who suffer disadvantage to bigger parties. But these are challenges not only to particular to India, but to all established democracies. But this is why the role of citizen, social activist and organization has demanding reforms in our electoral system. But still our existing electoral system has been meeting the ends of the democracy. So this was the end of our lecture. Let us all promise to vote in all elections and perform our duty to vote. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching this video.